The story begins with the world on the brink of destruction. One day, without any warning, mysterious portals suddenly appear across the globe. From these portals, terrifying monsters emerge, wreaking havoc everywhere. Humanity is caught off guard, and many perish as the earth is plunged into chaos. Amidst this devastation, something extraordinary happens. Some humans suddenly gain incredible powers, becoming what is known as the Awakened. They are now humanity's last hope against the monstrous threat. However, the Awakened are not all the same. They are categorized into levels based on the strength of their powers. At the top, there is the elusive and extremely rare S level, a rank that only a few across the world have achieved. In Malaysia, only one S-level Awakened has emerged, a figure whose power is feared and revered. Below the S-level are the A-level Awakened, who possess incredible strength and skill, though not as overwhelming as the S-level. The B-level and C-level Awakened, while competent and capable, are tasked with more standard missions, fighting monsters and defending cities. The D-level, E-level, and F-level Awakened are weaker, with F-level being the least powerful, often dismissed as little more than bystanders in the chaos. As the portals continue to open around the world, the need to organize the Awakened becomes critical. Countries form their own hunters associations, structured to manage these new superhuman forces. In Malaysia, the Hunters Association carefully assesses and ranks each Awakened individual, assigning them missions based on their level. The S-level hero is kept for the most dangerous and strategic tasks, as their power is essential in humanity's fight for survival. The lower-ranked Awakened are sent to support the effort in less critical areas, but they still face great danger. The portals themselves are like dungeons. Once a portal opens, a flood of monsters pours into the world, and it remains open until the Awakened enter, defeat the monsters, and take down the dungeon's boss. Only then does the portal close. Each new portal is a race against time. If the Awakened fail, the world may never recover. Among the Awakened, power becomes the new currency. The strongest heroes rise to fame and fortune, while the weaker ones struggle to survive. The S-level heroes are treated as legends, and their exploits are known throughout the world. But with this power comes tension. Jealousy, ambition, and greed lurk beneath the surface, and among the Awakened, rivalries begin to grow. Khairul and Fattah had been inseparable since the day they both awakened as A-level heroes. Together, they faced the terrifying monsters that poured through the portals, fighting side by side in battle after battle. They shared everything: their victories, their close calls, and their dreams of making the world safer. Khairul couldn't have asked for a better partner than Fattah, and they had become famous as a duo, admired by other hunters and civilians alike. But one day, something happened that Khairul never could have imagined. It started like any other day. Khairul was on a rare break from missions, spending some much-needed time with his wife, Diana. They had decided to go to the park for a quiet afternoon, something they hadn't done in ages. Khairul was grateful for moments like this, moments where he could feel normal, far away from the chaos of the apocalypse. Diana was his world, the person who kept him grounded amidst the madness. She smiled at him, and for a brief moment, everything felt perfect. But that moment was shattered in an instant. Suddenly, Diana's expression changed. Her eyes darkened, and her smile twisted into something unrecognizable. Khairul noticed her body stiffen, her hands clenching as though she was in pain. At first, he thought she might be unwell, maybe tired from the stress of living in a world constantly on edge. But before he could ask her if she was okay, Diana lunged at him, violently.
Diana, what?
Khairul barely had time to react as she swung at him with inhuman strength, knocking him back. The people around them in the park screamed and scattered, terrified by the sudden attack. Khairul tried to hold her off, but she was relentless, her eyes wild with a hunger he had never seen before. That's when he realized the truth. Diana had been infected. For months, Fattah had worked tirelessly to develop a vaccine that could protect humans from the deadly virus brought by the monsters. It had saved countless lives, keeping humanity from falling into total chaos. But for those who had already been infected and turned into monsters, there was no cure. Diana had become one of them, and she no longer recognized Khairul as her husband, only as prey. She was no longer the woman he loved. Khairul's heart broke as he tried to reason with her, calling her name over and over, begging her to stop. But Diana, now fully transformed, let out a monstrous growl and lunged at him again, this time with murderous intent. Khairul, unable to fight back against the person he loved more than anything, was helpless. His body froze as he faced the impossible choice, fight or die. And then, in the midst of the chaos, Fattah arrived. With the speed and precision of a seasoned hero, Fattah leapt into action. He could see immediately what had happened to Diana. She was too far gone. The virus had taken full control, and there was no bringing her back. Fattah didn't hesitate. In a swift, decisive strike, he aimed for Diana's heart, the only way to end her suffering. Khairul screamed in horror.
No, Fattah, stop!
But it was too late. Diana collapsed to the ground, lifeless, her monstrous form disintegrating before their eyes. The park fell silent, and the chaos seemed to come to a sudden halt. The infected threat was gone. Fattah, his face grim, turned to Khairul.
I had no choice,
He said quietly, trying to explain.
she was gone. There was no saving her.
But Khairul wasn't listening. His eyes were fixed on the spot where Diana had fallen, his mind reeling with disbelief. How could this have happened? How could the woman he loved so deeply, who had been his everything, be taken from him like this? And worse, how could his best friend have been the one to kill her? In that moment, something inside Khairul snapped. Rage, grief, and betrayal coursed through him, overpowering any sense of reason. Fattah, the man who had always stood by his side, was now the one responsible for taking away the most precious person in his life.
You killed her.
Khairul whispered, his voice trembling with emotion, his hands clenched into fists, his heart pounding with a fury he had never known. You killed Diana. Fattah's eyes widened, realizing the depth of his friend's despair.
Khairul, I had to. If I hadn't.
Don't you dare.
Khairul's voice rose, cutting him off.
You chose to kill her. You didn't even try to save her.
His voice was raw with anguish, the pain of losing his wife transforming into seething anger. Fattah stepped forward, reaching out.
Khairul, I did what I had to do. I'm sorry.
But Khairul stepped back, glaring at him with hatred. The bond that had once united them was now shattered, broken beyond repair.
I don't care what your reasons were.
Khairul spat.
You took her from me, and I will never forgive you for that.
Without another word, Khairul turned and walked away, leaving Fattah standing alone, guilt and sorrow weighing heavily on him. The world may have been saved from the immediate danger, but the friendship between the two men, once strong and unbreakable, had been destroyed in an instant. And from that moment on, Khairul's heart was consumed by vengeance. Stay tuned for the next episode. With vengeance now in Khairul's heart, what path will he choose? If you were him, what would you do next? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch every twist and turn in this story. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.